like to remind the coaches to just hit the switch on your microphone. They're probably all off, so hit it up and toward yourself. And that way you'll be able to have some fun with our questions. I was joking about the bidding part of asking a question, but I am not joking when I say this has worked in other years. If there is something you really want these guys to talk about, I have enough questions that we're going to run out of time before I run out of questions. If there is something that's really important to you and you can just write it down and have somebody run it up to me, I will consider it, because this is about y'all and these coaches as much as it is about, of course, the kids. So we do this differently some years than others, but we're going to start by giving all of you an opportunity to answer some of the same questions. Some of them will be the football-related issues that you could predict, right? Conference realignment, TV money, name, image, likeness, the transfer portal, those things that you see in the headlines and have, of course, affected these guys' job descriptions and livelihoods, etc. But our other questions, and some of them have been nominated by you, the paying customers, so to speak, are more about the personal side. So let me get you started with that. I've always believed, guys, that if I have just an extra minute to think about the answer to a question, my answer gets better. So I'm going to give you the question. Coach Oliver, we're going to start with you and work our way back, okay? We always hear, and I'm going to give you a minute to think. It's hard to be first, right? We always hear about the value of the woman behind the man, the coach's spouse, etc. How has your spouse helped you become a better coach and or a better person? And as you contemplate that, and then we'll just go one by one. True story, this did not happen today, but I was on my way to another speaking engagement. I call my wife the lovely and talented Maria. Gets me a lot of brownie points all the time. It was kind of like today in the sense that I'm just a guy, and I'm up here with a bunch of famous people. So I say to her, honey, in your wildest dreams, would you ever believe that we're on our way to this event where, your husband is up here with all these famous guys? And my wife says, I kid you not, honey, when it comes to my wildest dreams, you're not in any of them. That gave you an extra minute to think about your answer to this spouse-related question. If you knew my wife, that would not surprise you at all. She's feisty, which I respect. Coach Oliver, how has your spouse helped you become a better coach or person or both?
First of all, I was listening to you, so I couldn't think about it.
Sorry about that.
No, I think she's probably taught me patience more than anything. In the coaching profession, we want things right now. We want to win championships right now. But you just have to be patient and follow the process, whatever that might be. And that's pretty much it. Patience.
Coach Brown, go ahead.
I'm not her wildest dreams either.
Let's see. Got it.
It's on and not working, so.
All right. You guys share.
Yeah, you didn't think I had it on.
All right. No, you're a
No, I said that I'm not my wife's wildest dreams either, so I got that question. I think Sally's taught me a lot in our 31 years of marriage. I think number one, coaches are driven, and a lot of times we're not as happy as we should be because we're always fighting something, especially head college football coaches, because you got 121 guys and all their mothers like them, and only 11 of them can play at a time. So we're always fighting things. And Sally's always said, you gotta be happy, because you're supposed to be a mentor for these young people. If you're not happy, and happiness is success, then how can they look at you and want to be like you if you're not a happy person? Second thing is, she's taught me that our jobs are about the kids. It's really about them. They're nice men up here. All of us compete, all of us want to win, but really and truly, the ability to have influence on each and every one of our players for the many years that we've coached is a gift that not many people are given. Because not many people can say something to a young person and him listen, and it might change his life. And we have that ability. And you have to be really, really careful what you say to them. And the third thing would be treat everybody like you want to be treated. Because if be judgmental. Don't start thinking about, I like him, I don't like him, I like her, I don't like her, because you don't know their situations. And I think those probably, Dave, are the three things that she's given me.
Good stuff. Coach Oliver, thank you for the microphone assistant. Coach Elko.
Yeah, I think, is this on? Yeah. Michelle and I, my wife, just celebrated our 20th anniversary this summer. And so we kind of learned a lot from each other over the years, but I think probably the biggest thing she's taught me is perseverance. You know, we spend a lot of time as coaches trying to get our kids to understand how to overcome failure. And my wife has done a really good job teaching me that. Because I think in all 20 of those years, I haven't gotten that honey-do list right once. And so, no, she's been phenomenal along the way. And probably the biggest thing that I've learned from her is just how to treat kids like you would treat your own son. I kind of watch her, how she handles our two boys. Our oldest has become a college athlete, and just her reactions to the coaches over the years, her reactions to how coaches have treated our boys. I think you just learned how valuable it is to treat your kids like you would want your own son to be treated, and making sure that you run your program that way, and keep everyone in mind in that regard.
Go ahead, Coach.
Well, you answered this wrong. Your wife put you in the transfer portal. And, yeah, those comedy classes are really helping me out. Local junior college. You know, I think the biggest thing is just remembering who you are. I think Sarah does a great job of holding me accountable to my roots and my why, serving these guys and the program. And when you get to this level, they say new level, new devils. You know, there's lots of things that get involved at the upper level of college football. And so, you know, most of us chose coaching because we love competing and we love helping young people advance in their lives. And there was a point where you felt like, you know what, this guy probably wouldn't have got there if I wouldn't have stepped in. And that's a really valuable feeling as a coach. And so just remembering your why, I think she does a great job of keeping me grounded. Or, you know, just telling me what I need to hear, you know, at the right times.
Coach Houston.
You know, the bad thing about going last is, you know, they steal some of your
This is
stuff
true.
along the way. So, but not, you know, Amanda and I, we celebrated 19 years 2 weeks ago. So, you know, I think, you know, we've been through so much, you know, along the way. You know, I think two of the things that she's taught me, one, you know, Dave just mentioned it there, is how to stay grounded. You know, because when you have success, you can really lose yourself sometimes with some of the things that you go through and the way people treat you and stuff. But, you know, when you walk in the door and you go home, she doesn't really care what your win-loss record is. And she doesn't really care what your job title is. You know, so she really does a great job of keeping me true to myself. And I think the other thing, though, is, you know, all throughout my career, and, you know, I started out as a high school coach and kind of worked my way up. She always encouraged me to take chances, and you know, every time, every job I've had has been a great job. You know, I see the Lenore Ryan, we got some Lenore Ryan alums in the room here. What a phenomenal D2 job! And so why would you leave it ever? But when the opportunities came, she always encouraged me to take chances.
I mentioned we're going to swing back and forth.